Hey, my doggy. Yeah, my baby dog.
Hey Siri, set a timer for 24 minutes.
I would really much like to go there. That reminds me a little bit of Cloudcraft, New Mexico. One of the most beautiful
Really?
places I've ever been.
There's green places in New Mexico?
Yeah, mountainous, beautiful.
Why you got hair all over your face,
Because I'm
sweetie?
hiding.
You poor creature.
It was kind of okay till taco started, you know, blowing.
We both had a rough week, kinda. I mean, I don't want to say rough. Cabin's still there.
I'm not peppy today.
I'm still getting married.
I have
My
issues.
flowers are coming like they're supposed to. I was really worried.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Alyssa.
This is Stitching at the Cabin. Do 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 music.
Yes.
We have a 1 year FlossTube
Yeah.
FlossTube anniversary.
Technically, I guess so.
And this is your last episode with Alyssa for a while. Although she's trying to get me to edit it because she taught me how to edit today, and I keep telling her no.
Doesn't she need to practice?
No. You guys deserve one more without me botching it. And then Steve and I will edit next week. Stop blowing on the dog.
He likes it. Yow.
Yow. I will be more peppy next week. It's been quite the roller coaster. We will get to that after the Stitchy stuff. So those of you who don't care about life stuff don't have to listen to life stuff.
We didn't do much Stitchy stuff. In fact,
No.
I didn't do anything except that I worked on the tree yesterday, I think. Maybe the
I
day
worked
before.
on the tree and I've got a little bit done on some other stuff. I ended up going to the cabin right after we filmed last week. Thursday, we went downstairs, we ate, we left. And then, so I wasn't home again until Sunday. So that really cut into like keto and shadow lane.
Yeah.
And then I have had quite the week so far and I have not stitched.
And I've just been doing a lot of wedding stuff. Like, I'll show you what the back of the chairs currently look like here. Well, that's life stuff. Sorry, you got a picture here. Just real quick. just real quick. That's basically what I was working on during the time I would have been stitching. So, and also don't worry, the chairs are not actually going to be red. That's just the color.
She's getting married Sunday, in case you're new and you don't know this. And it's only like, what, 9 people?
Yes, including us. Including Jago and I.
Don't freak out and say you're doing bad things during the time of COVID. It's only 9 people. It's outdoors.
At the beach.
In the sun.
Hot.
And then the reception is here at our house, outside, in the back, in the sun. I mean, it's shady, but you know.
Somewhat.
Hopefully. I haven't checked the weather. I heard it was supposed to be hot this weekend, that we went back to summer temperatures.
Listen, I haven't checked the weather.
Let's check. Let us check the weather.
I'm going to check for the venue.
I'm going... What venue?
For the venue.
But you're not... Oh.
For the venue.
The beach?
Yes.
The
specific
The venue is here. What are you talking about?
No, it's not.
Let's see. Sunday. Oh boy, it's going to be 91 here.
That's not that bad.
It's really not.
No.
Because Monday it's going to be 99. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday it's going to be 102. And Friday it's going to be 99.
At the venue on Sunday, it's going to be a high of 79, but partially cloudy.
Hey Siri, what's 91 degrees Fahrenheit?
To Celsius.
To Celsius.
91 degrees Fahrenheit is 32.8 degrees Celsius.
32.8. Thank you.
Yeah, Siri's different now.
I updated.
Yeah.
And now everything's changed.
You got
Even all
scared.
my icons moved because they added that translate one and
Yeah.
it knocked everything. So
Kind
now,
of annoying,
like my
huh?
tiny decisions and my Instagram aren't on top of each other over
Just
here.
move
Now they're over there.
Just move translate. Then everything goes back to normal.
Look, honey, with the last like 30 days that I've had, I can't take another speed bump. I just can't do it.
Maybe I'll just have to edit this video.
Yeah, I think you need to. Okay. Keto. I did finish the sliver, so I finished the page.
Yay!
This is recording and it
You're
is
gonna
in
have
frame
to.
and it's...
Yeah.
Okay, because
It
Steve
looks
didn't help.
good.
Steve's not here this time. So I finished and I started back up at the top. So I've done a few hundred up there. So this was only... We filmed Thursday. I left Thursday. So this was Monday morning and Tuesday morning.
Yeah,
and
today's Wednesday.
Wednesday morning. So this is 3 mornings of work. And the dog is sniffing it from the back. I don't know why the dog has chosen to sit on the bed this time, on foot wammy, instead of on the chair where normal human dogs sit. But
Human dogs.
whatever.
Can you put your feet back up here, though?
So-
Because I'm worried you're going to fall down.
Yeah.
I'm worried you're going to
Yeah,
do a
so
proper fall.
for those of you that are like, that's stressful, it's okay. I can undo any of these needles at any point without having to unthread the needle. It's okay. It's okay. I know there's a lot of them, but that's because this backstop that's because it's background and the top of her head. So it's a bunch of different colors. And then the ones down lower are the light part of her head.
There's lots of head stuff going on over here.
Lots of head.
Lots of head. Don't you look at me like that.
G. My shadow lane, I don't think you're going to see a difference. I know what's different. I don't think you'll know what's different. I did that, and I finished down there. I think that's the only thing that's different. I think I've worked on this one day since we filmed. One.
That makes sense.
Uno. One.
That makes sense.
One.
The sense it
One.
makes.
How sad is this week? Is this not the most pitiful Stitchy week?
But overall, it's a good week. Because I'm getting married. Overall, it's a good
Technically,
week.
that's next week because it's Sunday. Don't the
I don't
weeks
abide by
start
that.
over on
No.
Sunday?
Vote. Does the week start on a Sunday or does it end on a Sunday?
Or does it do both?
Starts
What
and
are you
ends.
doing with the
He
dog?
was falling. I caught him. So then I was trying to lay him back down.
Poor Bobby. He has one tooth. He's not gonna bite us.
But
So
look, he's in a playful mood.
you should see him with
Yeah.
his food. My goodness.
He's
Okay.
just playful.
He's a
Maybe
dog.
he's thirsty.
You want to do temperature
He's
trees?
usually playful when he's thirsty. Yeah, I don't even have the leaves in.
I do. I have my leaves and I started working on the branch. I don't have today's leaf in, but I have yesterday's.
I think something I'll have to ask you to do is to take record of my temperatures. So that way I can stitch it when I get back.
You don't have a month of them? Like
No.
your thing doesn't have a month history?
Nope, it has 7 days.
Well,
sometimes.
then you'll have to send me the
Link.
link and stuff. I'll try to remember.
Okay. So I got most of October branch in, but you will see I am still in progress. You ready?
Yeah, I'm curious to see yours. Whoop. The dog's like, what's going on?
I like your colors because they're lighter. This
Yeah,
last week.
it cooled down some. Like, it got really cool,
With
and
all the
then
smoke.
yeah, I really do think that's
Yeah.
that's what happens. The sun just doesn't come out anymore.
Nope.
No, I mean, there's still some sun, but it gets smoky, and then it clears up, and then it gets smoky, and it clears up. Let me see yours. Oh, yeah, ours is very similar. Color-wise, it's
yeah.
that orangey
Yeah.
color.
Now, I did messed up with my branch. There's supposed to be 3 blank spaces here, and there's only 2.
Mine too!
Really? Oh, did you do that problem too?
I did.
Wait, seriously? You and I did the same problem?
Well, I only have 2. Right there. Is this the branch we're
Yeah,
talking
that's
about?
October,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny! You were
Yeah.
telling me how unique my tree was gonna be. No, honey, yours
I
is
messed
gonna
it
be the
up.
same. Oh, that is so funny. Okay, well, I checked to make sure I didn't have to take out the whole branch, and I don't. It just means like 4 or 5 leaves are gonna touch, but they're not gonna overlap. They're just gonna touch. So I decided I was okay with
Yeah.
it.
That was the one spot that I said it messed up, and it looks funny when you look straight down. It's like, why is that one
Got
chunky?
you. Oh, that's funny.
That is funny. We gotta like stop sharing the same vein.
I know, really, it messes me up. You need to stop. You
So
need to
it's
calm
going
down.
to probably stay about the same temperature, and then it's gonna go up again on the weekend. Go up again on the weekend. So my tree is still going to end up being lopsidedly hot.
Yeah,
But it doesn't usually cool down until Thanksgiving.
that's where I thought you were going.
The end of October, Halloween,
Oh.
yeah. I'm thinking October, the holiday at the end of October, and
Yeah.
out comes Thanksgiving.
I keep thinking Halloween is really close, but it's not. I mean, it's still a whole nother month and a half away. Well,
You know I
better.
messed up. Because today I said, oh, the forests are going to be closed until the 21st. They've extended it. And you're like, that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
No.
Because we were planning on going camping in one of the national forests, but they're all closed right now because of the fires and stuff. So she's like, oh, yeah, they just said they extended it. And I'm like, oh, no. She's like, yep, to September 24th. I was like, oh, so like today? And I looked at my watch, tomorrow? She's just kind of quiet. I was like, yeah, I guess so.
I've been messed up. We had like a holiday, and so I was off a day. And then we went to the cabin on Thursday instead of Friday, so I was off a day. Listen, y'all, if
Pitiful.
I have more stitching. If you could just understand all the different stress right now,
Pitiful.
you would be much more lenient towards me at the moment. Much more understanding. So I did work on this weekend. I will tell you that with the roller coaster of the fires, 1 minute you're like, everything's fine. The next minute you're like, holy crap, we're gonna die. I was really distracted and didn't get a lot done. I wanted to. Believe me, I wanted to. But every time I would try, it was like, I just can't concentrate. I can't do it. So there is a difference. But it's just not as excessive as it should be, considering I was there for so long. That thing, that Momo. This is what Momo looks like. Yeah. In case, y'all didn't pay attention when we put up the picture of Momo last week. Or if you're new and you didn't see. Kevin is his name, but I call him Momo. Kevin, Kevmo, Bevmo, Momo. It just changed. So it's Gecko Rouge. You could see that. You can read. You're probably
capable human beings.
Well, maybe you're not.
That's true.
You could be blind.
We've had this conversation already. No, we talked about death. No,
I have no idea. We talk about all sorts of stuff. I've been working on the beak. Stop blowing on me. I've been working on the beak. The beaky beak. And then a little bit over here in his, I don't know what you call that. His cheek face. It's
Hortenko's mask.
Yeah. Tango throws up his protection feathers, but Momo doesn't have those. It's a weird spot because it's,
you let go.
So it's a weird spot because it's like skin, like if you're dehydrated and you're getting old like me and your skin's sort of like really kind of loose and wrinkly. That's what that is, because when he opens and closes his mouth and does stuff, I just scratched myself. If I have a big angry red line, my fault. It stretches and stuff. So that's what I'm just trying to say. That's weird, stretchy, skin wrinkly face stuff. So. Yeah. Wow, I am a mess. I assume that you are not going to spin because I assume you are never going to stitch again because of the wedding.
I will definitely stitch again, but I, at this point in time, do not plan on bringing stitchy stuff with me. I know.
And I choked myself. Oh, I forgot to put this.
Actually, when we travel, I kind of like to bring a coloring book. And colors? Really? It's calming.
It is really calming.
I don't know, and it's I don't have to worry about it getting messed up. I don't have as much attachment to it, so I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do need to spin, but I could just turn it so you don't have to do the thing.
I can do it.
It's okay. I don't want you to have to extra
just do
edit.
it anyways.
And I forget to. It all moved. Everything moved. I can't handle this.
What's that one?
I don't know.
Beep. Is that like Spotify?
I have no idea.
What is it?
Beep.
Oh my god.
Wait for the P.
Yeah,
the
clearly.
P.
Okay.
Is that going to show up?
Thank you. Yes. He means Baja Blast.
Okay. Villamilabilia. I can do that.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah, I've wanted to work on that. But, you do things. But I can't really work on this weekend much because we're not going to I don't know if I can work on this weekend at all because we're not going to the cabin because someone's getting stupid married.
I know, it's so stupid.
So, like, Friday and Saturday is going to be, like, cleaning the house and touch-up painting anything on the walls. My husband painted the grass, so...
True. You're not supposed to tell anyone that.
I have, like, a dead spot from it being 117 for, 800 days in a row. And so he bought grass paint and painted it so that Jacob's family, who's never seen the house, will not think that we have a spot of dead grass. Oh! Could you imagine? So... Saturday, I will be perfecting the inside of the home, making it museum quality.
Oh, man.
And Sunday is the wedding, so I won't be there. So
you won't be at the wedding?
I won't be at the cabin. I won't be able to stitch. But maybe I won't be there. We'll see.
Yeah, the wedding's on Sunday, and I won't be there. I can't go to the cabin because they'll expect I'm there. I'm gonna have to find somewhere else to go.
You know what I meant. So, probably I won't be touching that this weekend, but I will keep it on the roster for evenings and maybe next weekend, because it should get its turn since it got spun, so. And we didn't work on Bookshelf, even though we were supposed to work on it 3 days, because we were supposed to work on it the night after we filmed,
wasn't even
and then
gonna
I
bring it up.
left. Well, we had said it
didn't
before.
want to seem like a failure.
We had
I
said
think
it
I
before.
actually cut it out because
Oh.
I didn't want to seem like a failure.
Well, we had said we'd do it 3 days, and we did it one day, and then the second day I ended up leaving, and then I was still gone the next day, so that's why. It's not her fault
it's
at
not
all.
my
It is
fault.
completely my
planned
fault
for it.
because of the cabin.
Okay, yeah, in that case, you can tell them all about it. I didn't know you were
Okay.
going to take credit. I thought you were going to get,
Do you have any haul? I don't have any haul either. Ever since we almost lost the house in the fire, see Plague 7 video, I haven't bought anything because it's like, it's so easy to lose it. I've just been like, no, I'm not going to buy anything. I'm never going to buy anything ever again. I know that will pass, but right now that's how
Technically,
I feel.
we bought a hot glue gun, and that is crafty, and I've been using it for crafty purposes, but that's not exciting.
We refer to picture previously of the back of the chair.
Yeah, that's the crafty it was used for. But let me tell you, if you get one of those like real hot glue guns, like from Home Depot, that are bigger, like use the 1/2-inch stuff, they get stupid hot. Like, will burn your fingers if you touch the glue, and the glue stays
Touch
wet.
the hot
No,
stuff.
the glue stays wet for a solid minute. You know how hot
A
glue
whole
usually?
minute?
Yes. You know how
I
hot glue.
I
Okay,
haven't used
hot glue is
forever.
usually like, you do it and then you got to do the thing, and then like 3 seconds later you're good. Like, it's like a really quick, easily removable but relatively solid glue. But this stuff, man, it is scorching and it stays liquid for forever,
Really?
which is kind of nice because if you put something down wrong, you can take it off and do whatever. But also, if you touch it and it seeps through the fabric a little bit, you burn your fingers. It's so hot. It's molten
Do you
lava.
need a kiss?
Yes, all over my hand.
I don't want your diseases, whatever those may be.
So we got that.
Well, I'd say that counts as haul.
Okay.
I got magnetic eyelashes.
Right,
have
which we
not
talked
tried
about
yet.
last time, and we still haven't tried it. I almost, on Friday, I really wanted to open it and
You
try
saw
them.
them on my desk?
Yes, and I'm like, I want to, but I won't. But I want to, but I won't. It's her toy. So
That's
I'm playing
thanks to
with it
Carla
yet.
being crafty. If you have not watched her videos are not about eyelashes. However, she happened to mention it, and I was like, what is this witchcraft of which you speak?
Yeah.
Magnetic
I
eyelashes?
didn't know she didn't know.
I know I did. Nobody tells me these good things.
Sorry. I didn't know you didn't know.
I didn't know.
Well, now you
So
know.
I bought some.
Yep.
So they're on my desk. Woo.
Woo.
I've been a little stressed. I haven't tried them.
I hear you. Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably it for Stitchy stuff then.
I think so.
So if you came for the Stitchy, thank you for coming. Please come back. And so long, farewell. I'll be
Then I'll see you in a few weeks.
If you want to stick around,
We have a few
because you're
things.
insane. No, you're not insane. We're insane. I don't have, normally when I tell you about fires or Momo or whatever, it's a very detailed, long, drawn out, in order, you feel like you're the other thing. I can't do this with this because it was such a roller coaster and so many days of it that it's all one big nasty blob in my head. So I'll do my best to kind of at least go in order a little bit, and it won't be that long because I frankly don't have the energy today. I promise I'm not usually like this, but
Blah.
blah,
Blah.
blah,
Blah. 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 She likes the vampire that can count.
I want to say thank you to Hallie Stitching. I think it's Hallie. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Stitching Big Things with Hallie. She actually messaged me today while I was sitting on the sofa crying. So it was so sweet and such perfect timing. Thank you. I don't normally sit on the sofa crying, especially not during work time, but I will briefly go into that. Thursday, you all were watching when I got texts about bad things happening at the cabin and the roads were being closed and things were being evacuated. So we decided we need to go up there before they truly shut down everything and we can't get in. which I know sounds counterintuitive. Why would you want to get into an evacuation zone instead of out of an evacuation zone?
Thrill seekers.
No. We wanted to evacuate some things, but we also have found you don't get updates very easily or accurately, and it's a little bit better if you're there. Case in point, at one point, all over the news and all over social media, they were saying that this particular intersection was on fire, and it happened to be the intersection right directly below our cabin that would have trapped us on a dead-end road, and we would have died had the fire come up. They were wrong. They were actually in the wrong city, even.
Yeah.
And every cabin owner, I think, that saw it contacted us and was like, what's going on? And we had to assure everybody,
Fire's nowhere near there.
It is not what they're saying. They are wrong. Wrong. So, it's helpful when you're there. But you also want to vomit half the time because it's scary. So, Thursday night we went. I don't remember what happened. I know we could see things. I know there were scary things. I don't remember. Friday morning. See, I'm already messed up on the days. You know what? I can't do it in order. I just don't know.
Yeah.
The fire. Okay.
Sorry. I had something stuck in my throat. It's bothering me. I'm sorry. Shh.
Taco's like, is it a snack? I'll help you. The cabin's here.
That was the earthquake.
Yes, so it was an earthquake. The cabin is here. The fire is all over here. But the one we're worried about this weekend is here. And it's... Let's do this. Here's the cabin. Here's the fire. And it's moving this way towards the cabin. Right? And then the last few days, it branched into 3. So it's fire, fire, fire. I'm not worried about this one, even though this is the one that actually burned down houses. And I'm so sorry for those people. But this one is not actually affecting me, and that I'm not a horrible person. It just doesn't fit in with this story. These two are the problem. This one mostly stopped. This one has been coming for days.
And we're talking a few miles out. Like, it's not like at the bottom of our road. I mean, like, it's not like road and then fire, but it's like, like 5 miles that way.
Well, it's no longer 5 miles, but probably in the beginning it was.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know when the earthquake was. Do you know?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jacob was home.
So I'm guessing it was Friday?
I think it was Saturday.
I think it was Friday.
I'm pretty sure it was Saturday.
It was Friday or Saturday. So at night...
Don't know. Because Jacob was home both nights, because he went to work Saturday morning, but then he came home, and I don't remember if it was that night or the night before.
I think it was that night. I don't know. It probably really doesn't matter. And if you are super concerned, Google earthquake.
A 4.8 earthquake near El Monte.
Yeah, Google that.
Felt that at my house.
Felt that in my cabin. So, at night, we can sit up, look out the window, and see down into where I gave you the cabin fire. It's this one. It's straight in front of us. That's the one that we can sit up and see. The other one's off to the side, and you can see the smoke, but we can't really see the flames from the bedroom. So, this one. We would sit up at night, look out the window, you'd be like, yep, still a problem. And then, lay down, try to go back to sleep. And then after a while, you'd look up and, ooh, not quite as bad. So that was, every night was that. And then during the day, you're watching straight out. And then we go outside and look off to the side and come back around. And you're using every map and every social media platform and everything you can come up with to try to figure out where this dang fire is. Especially with the mountains the way they are, you can't really tell which mountain range it's on. You just see the smoke coming, especially at night, because they have to stop the airdrops at night, and you're sort of at the mercy of everything. And the first few days, it was like super windy, like 20, 30 mile per hour winds. I don't know what that is, because other countries don't have miles per hour. I don't know how to change that for you.
Google.
I'm sorry. You'll have to Google. I do apologize. I don't even know what to ask.
It's probably be kilometers per hour.
Probably.
Yeah, but...
Or just knots. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. It was windy. So, one of the days, the ski resort contacted a neighbor that was up there. She was up there alone because her husband had to go down the hill because the actual house had issues. So say exploded, but it didn't. It was water damage. It's totaled. So they're gonna have to basically rebuild it. So they had been living at the cabin for a while because of COVID and whatever, and so he went down to try to work on the house and left her with 17 parrots up on the hill. And so we have mutual friends at the ski resort, and that sounds weird. They don't live there. You don't care. Ski resort contacted her and said, you need to get out. The fire's coming at us. If it gets through this area where the lake is, there's no hope. You need to get out. So she called us and said, can you please come help me? So we spent a couple hours over there getting the birds packed up and the stuff out, and my husband sprayed down the whole outside, got out the ladders so the firemen could get up there if they needed to. It's kind of traumatic.
Y'all laid hose lines because they all have fire hydrants throughout the like little cabin area.
It's not a hydrant like your little, what you think, like that you see on the street. It doesn't look like that. It's basically just a pipe thing that comes out of the ground that you hook these fire hoses up to, and we happen to be in the hose business, so we were able to provide fire hoses. However, every cabin has one that reaches except for 2 cabins, my cabin and the cabin across the street. The hoses are not long enough, and if you extend the hoses so that they are long enough, there's not enough water pressure. So we could dribble onto a deck, and that's about it. We've had the approval and the funding to put in hydrants for multiple years, but nobody's actually done it. And I think because the other cabin that was in jeopardy was the president of the association's cabin and ours, and I am the secretary and treasurer, that's already 2 out of the 3 officers. I'm hoping it gets done this year because I suspect we're going to be voting sooner rather than later, and maybe just hire someone to do it.
Yeah.
Besides the point. I don't know where that was.
My point was just that they had laid hoses.
Oh,
and
that's
they
right.
Hosed off the other cabin and
That's
whatever.
right. So we spent a good chunk of time out there watching from their viewpoint, the vantage point, and that one's more of the side one than the straight on one, but you could see both. Then we survived that night. Then the next morning we went over there to move a camera for them because they have some security cameras, and we said, hey, why don't we move one of them and aim it at the fire so that you can see it while you're home, and they liked that, so we did that. We're driving back from doing that, and there were all these fire engines in front of our cabin, and I'm like, what? And there's, how many people in an engine?
4 to 5. 3 to 5. Typically 4.
I'm gonna go with 4. There are 5 engines, 4 people in each, and then, like, is it a battalion chief who drives SUVs that say battalion on them? And at least 1 battalion chief. And they're all gathered having a meeting in front of our cabin. And in fact, one of the fire engines was parked in our driveway. We couldn't get back in. So that fireman, I guess the driver, I don't know who's
engineer.
The engineer came over and said, oh, do you need me to move that? I'm so sorry. It's leaking, so I have to park it on a flat surface. We're like, no, you can leave it there. Y'all can stay as long as you want. I said, we love all of you. You do whatever you need to do. So upon talking to the neighbors who had been talking to the firemen, it turns out that there were 2 strike teams. It's 5 engines each, 1 for us and 1 for the town that's right next to us.
Yeah, I was like, what, did you forget the name?
No, I was going to say right by the ski resort, but I keep saying we're by the ski resort, and we are. We have 1 above us and 1 below us, and then 4 miles over is a town. And so they each have these 5 engine strike teams. And so they were going through to check out the area and to plot and plan. And this meeting was a big, like, who are we going to save? How are we going to save? What are we going to do? And then they were switching so that they could get a feel for everything. So no matter who was working when something bad happened and no matter what area, they could get help. They are the help. They could do something. So Alyssa has a picture. She hasn't already inserted it of the firemen and the fire engines. And so they left, and I was feeling really good because the battalion guy was like, we love this area, we're familiar with the area, you guys have put out these hoses, that's awesome, we'll use them. The Forest Service won't because they only are trained for grass fires, they're not trained for structure protection, and these strike teams are there for structure protection. So they are going to be there, and they are going to protect us, and in the meantime the helicopters are still refueling up above us. That has not stopped. It's been, I think, 2 full weeks now of helicopters. I've gotten so used to the rumble of the helicopter, I don't even notice anymore. In fact, I came home and I was trying to sleep and a plane flew over And, like, I was like, that doesn't sound right. What is that?
That's not the right kind of aircraft.
And they're doing it at night. Oh, no. Anyway, so I'm like, great, awesome. We're in good hands. This is going to be great. I was kind of a point of contact for the cabin people, so I was texting, like, this is awesome. Look, here, they're all here. This is amazing. We're going to be fine. Not so much, because I talked to another neighbor that was actually in that meeting, and we were sitting out on the edge of the mountain watching them do the airdrops for the one that was coming towards us. And I said, hey, what's the deal with that meeting? Like, what happened? And he's like, oh, well, actually, they realized that the fire is coming towards us, and because it's a dead-end road, they won't protect us because they don't want to get trapped in there's only one way in and out, and they don't want to die. So they are not going to protect those structures. I'm like, okay.
If it keeps coming that direction.
That direction. If it were to come from the side like it did a few years ago, they protected us. It's come from the other side once. I wasn't here then. I don't know. But apparently they did it because they're still standing. So it's just the front on one. So now we've got all the stress again. But that night, they did major air assault. I mean, there must have been 8 aircraft between the helicopters, fixed wing, the big commercial airliner one. They were just circling and dropping. And it was just this all-out assault. And they seemed to have stopped it right at this one ridge down onto a road. It just seemed stopped. But when it got dark, you could see glow. And it was a little concerning, but, we sit up at night, look, and all that. So the next morning, it looked a lot better. And I thought, okay, we're really good. We've gotten through the worst of it. The wind has died down. We're golden. We're going to be fine. But then it branched into the 3. And they seem to have stopped the forward coming one for the most part, although there's an awful lot of smoke for something that's not burning. And they're still doing an awful lot of airdrops. Even today, they're still doing airdrops on that one. So I'm not really sure what the story is, but then this other one started coming. And you can see cameras from the ski resort, and then, we had to leave on Sunday, and so then another neighbor was up there, and then they were sending these panicked type texts showing us pictures and saying it's coming, it's cresting the ridge. We don't know if we're going to be able to survive. No one's going to die, but you know what I mean? We don't know if the cabins are going to make it because it's coming. When I say from the side, it's not. It's actually burning into where that other one came towards us. So it's coming across and into that one. And as long as it keeps doing that, it's fine. The problem is if the wind switches, it's going to start coming towards us again. And it'll still be from that. It'll be diagonal, but it'll still be from the front, and they still won't protect us. It needs to go behind the other mountain, over the ski resort, and then up to us if we want them to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in the meantime, Mount Wilson down in the southwest, not even near us, but the other end of the fire has been insane. So a lot of the resources are over there, so we have minimal resources on our side. Mm-hmm. And like I said, you can't get the updates. And so it's just been a lot of stress. But I read something, I think yesterday, that said it's probably going to be 4 to 5 days before it gets to us at the rate that it's been going. So as long as the wind doesn't pick up, we've got 4 to 5 days where we don't have to stress constantly. But in 4 to 5 days, when I have no more hair and I'm sobbing on the floor, it's because I can't take the stress anymore. But one of the nights, we're laying in bed looking out the window, earthquake. The whole cabin was shaking. I was like, really? Really? And then she texted, and Steve texted, because Steve was here, she was at her house, they both felt it, the birds were upset,
Jacob didn't feel it. He just sleeps right through it. And same thing with Jacob's sister's not husband.
What are you not telling me?
No, boyfriend. Apparently they both sleep through it. They're both the kind of guys who are like, I gotta sleep on the side of the bed that's closest to the door so I can protect you, and I'll make sure nothing happens. But they sleep through anything. So I wake up when I hear an earthquake coming because there's a distinctive sound to an earthquake
sound
coming before you feel the shaking. So I immediately wake up to that, and then it's doing this number, right? Jacob's on my left side, and I go, Jacob, 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 Jacob. And he's not answering, so I start hitting him when I say, Jacob, 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 Jacob. He finally wakes up. He's like, what? I said, there's an earthquake. He's like, I don't feel it. We're doing this. It's not like it's the end of the earthquake. And I'm looking at him. He's like, oh, that's an earthquake. I said, yes, it is. And I just keep, because this is what I do. I just lay there and I go, it's okay, it's okay, it's going to be okay, it's okay. I literally say it out loud. I do this every time there's an earthquake that's longer than just a thing. I don't know why. My brain just goes to saying, it's okay. I think I'm like saying it to Jacob, but I really mean it for myself. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Because I'm always worried it's like that's just the beginning and then it's going to do that.
Exactly.
Bam, bam.
Exactly.
Thing.
I hate the bam. When it starts out with the roll and you're like, it's okay.
This is kind of
okay.
fun.
It's okay. And then it does the bam. I hate that.
And it's you can hear it.
that.
You can hear the little rolls coming and then you can hear the wha-bam coming. They're different sounds.
And you can see it when it rolls. You can actually see your house rolling. It's the
weird.
craziest thing. But the
It's
bam
weird.
with the shaking, everything's shaking.
Shaking
and then it's like,
is different
gosh.
than rolling.
Yeah.
Rolling is like, this is kind of fun, and the house is kind of creaking a little bit, and everything's like kind of swaying.
But it's
then
not that noise.
No, when it does that it really is, it's a hit. It's
Yes.
and you go,
And then
it's okay, it's okay,
That's
it's okay.
when it's loud
Yeah.
with the
Like,
everything on
the
the walls
wood
is
is
shaking,
rattling.
everything in
Yeah.
the house, all the glass, everything. You hear the
Yeah. This one wasn't like that.
No.
This one was rolly, and then just
Yeah.
like a little bit rougher rolly, and then rolly. So it was fine.
It was a tame
but
one.
it makes me scared that I think it's gonna get worse, and then it stops, and then I'm like, okay, but was that just like the foreshock, and there's gonna be another one?
Bam!
And so like I posted on Facebook because that's what I do.
I thought that was a funny post too. I
But
enjoyed that.
what always happens with every earthquake is I have to go pee so bad after. So bad. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I woke up in the middle of the night and I would have had to go pee had I just woken up in the middle of the night, or if it's like an anxiety thing or what, but I have to go pee so bad, but I'm terrified to get out of bed because like, what if another earthquake happens? Like, what does it matter? I'm in the bathroom or I'm in the bed. Like, it doesn't matter.
Because you can't get up if you're in the bathroom. Like, you can't just
can't
stop
go
the
pee.
stream and
just
walk
pee
out.
faster and done. I don't know. But I'm terrified, and I will lay in bed for usually an hour after an earthquake saying, I really have to go pee. I'm too scared to get up. I really have to go pee. I'm too scared to get up. It's okay. You'll just have to stop going pee. Like, you'll just not feel it anymore. You'll go to sleep. And it's an hour of that before I finally get up and go
You
pee.
need adult diapers next to the bed. So if
Yeah,
it
just be
happens-
like, oh man, earthquake.
Exactly.
Gotta take care of business.
My problem with the earthquake this time, not only are we directly on the fault line, so when it happens there, I think, And the cabin
right.
isn't fully
Yeah.
bolted to the foundation, so we could technically fall off the foundation
Yes.
and die. Like,
And
our cabin could fall on
My
us.
city where I live, they have 3 somewhat major fault lines too, actually, in it, which I didn't know before moving here, but after I have since learned there are like 3 major little fault lines right here. And so my fear is always, okay, that felt like that was further away, but did that knock something?
Exactly.
Like, is the next one going to be the clap, what did you do, earthquake?
Yes.
I don't know.
Anyway, my problem.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I'm laying in bed, and it starts shaking, and I'm like, ah! And I was awake because somebody that had come up to evacuate some stuff had finished loading, and he was leaving. This was like 11:30 at night, I think, ish. And I heard his wheels on the gravel, and it woke me up. And so I'm laying there listening to him leave, and I'm like, that's weird that he's leaving, so late at night. And then, it starts shaking, right? And because we just built the bedroom, there's
Taco.
this beam. Yeah, don't you pee on keto. There's this beam right next to my side of the bed.
Yeah.
And he had to use like a sledgehammer to get it in, but the weather has changed and it's like shrunk now. And so I went to put my hand on it the other day. He's all, don't touch that. And the whole like beam moved. So I'm laying next to a beam that's not actually hooked on.
Oh,
And it's shaking. I'm like,
no.
it's going to come right over and hit me. So ever since I was like able to walk, as soon as there's an earthquake, my instinct is to jump up. I want to stand
Yes.
up and like get in the doorway.
Go
Like,
somewhere.
I don't know. I'm going someplace.
Yes.
And so as soon as it started shaking, I did the like I'm going, and he put his hand. My husband put his hand on my arm, and he's like, no. And I'm like, okay. And so then I stayed there, and like everything was fine.
Yeah.
I have no idea where I was gonna go or what I was gonna do, but he kept me from going.
Let me tell you, and I told Jacob this is stupid, and I looked it up after to make sure I'm wrong, because my initial instinct every time, and when I'm laying in bed, because I have always get so superstitious that at night there's going to be an earthquake, because since we moved into this house, every earthquake has been at night. I swear. Every single one, and usually Jacob's not home. So almost every night when I go to bed, I'm going to sleep and I think, what if there's an earthquake? And my immediate response is, my emergency plan is to roll off the bed. And I'm going to lay on the floor next to my bed. And because I think I'm like going for like the triangle thing,
Maybe.
maybe.
I think that's a scam.
No, It's bad. And everything online says if you are in bed during an earthquake, stay in bed. Because it's safer than moving. And you're on something squishy, which is good. And there's limited stuff around you. Usually you're not right by a window. And you have blankets to cover you from like glass that could be falling or anything.
I know,
like,
I've read it
stay in bed. But my initial reaction is roll onto the floor. Like, I will have dreams about if there's an earthquake, you're just gonna chuck the blankets and roll and then fall. You know how tall my bed is? It's like 3 feet in the air. Smack right onto the tile. Face against the freaking bed frame.
I think mine is a doorway thing, and now they've proven the doorway is bad, too. So I don't even know what you're supposed to do.
You just stay wherever you're at, and you go, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
So
that works for me.
Tangent there. Hello.
Bye.
Okay, so that was the earthquake, the fire, all that. So that's pretty much what you need to know. We're in a holding pattern waiting to see what's going to happen. So, Friday. Okay.
This Friday?
Last Thursday. Friday hasn't happened yet.
Well, I know, I don't know where you're going. Like, Friday we're going to blah, or last Friday
last
we blogged.
Thursday. Last Thursday before they filmed, I had gone to the doctor.
Oh.
I had some issues. I called the doctor. Well, I emailed the doctor. She set up a appointment. Phone. I'm old. I do phone like that, not whatever you youngsters do. So, I think he's thirsty. So,
See?
I talked to her on the phone. We discussed everything. She said, you need to have some blood work done and an ultrasound. So I'm like, okay. So I did that. And we filmed. And I didn't say anything because, you guys don't care about all that. So then Friday, in the midst of the cabin being almost on fire and everything else going on, I get a call. And it's the doctor. Well, it's not the doctor, but it's like a nurse or something. And that's never a good thing. Ever. If your doctor's office calls, it's not a good thing. They said, yeah, you have fibroids. And I'm like, awesome. Great. So you need to go see a gynecologist. So I'm like, okay. So I waited till Monday. Whoa. I did a bunch of research, and I didn't like any of the options. I went Monday, and I made an appointment, and I tried to see a woman. I'm not sexist. I just feel like women, not only do they have smaller fingers, but I just feel like they understand better because, the women, they have the same pieces and parts. But I couldn't get an appointment with a woman until, like, late October.
Yeah.
But I could get an appointment today with a man. And I was like, okay, let's do that. So I went today, and basically, if any of you have any knowledge of fibroids, please let me know. And if you don't want her to read the email, just email me and say I'd like to talk to you privately, and I will give you my personal email and we can discuss. But this was the probably worst doctor experience I've had, and this is why I was sitting on the sofa crying when I came back to tell her and my husband worked from home today, what had happened. My fibroid is only 2 centimeters. Well, I have more than one, but the biggest one is only 2 centimeters. So the guy walks in and he's like, why are you here? And I tell him, and he's like, your uterus is only 7 centimeters and your fibroid's 2 centimeters. It's so, like, not a big deal. Like, basically, why are you here? And his attitude the whole time was like, I don't know why you're here. You don't need to do anything. And I'm trying to explain that, like, my iron is crazy low. I'm having to take iron. I have to take one every single day because when I was taking it every other day, still wasn't high enough. And that this is miserable and I'm suffering and I can't take this for, like, years and years and years.
It's a quality of life
Yes,
issue.
It's a quality of life thing.
Because it does affect quality of life.
And he keeps saying, you don't need to do anything. Like, you have options, but you don't need to do anything. Just take iron. You'll be fine. Like, it's no big deal. So then he's like, well, you can do an IUD, which Alyssa has researched previously and says don't do that particular one. I can take some pill that he didn't really want to talk to me about. I can have an ablation, which sounds horrible because it's like scalding the inside of your uterus. Or I can have a hysterectomy where they would just take the uterus and leave everything else. But I worry about, like, prolapse and all sorts of things with that. So, like, none of these options are good. He's like, well, you could just not do anything. Maybe take Motrin. It's not pain I'm complaining about. It's the heaviness of the cycle that is the issue. So I was really frustrated because he really made me feel like, why did you bother? You're wasting my time. You're stupid. And I know that I'm not stupid, but, in the back of my mind, I had that concern that, maybe this isn't a big enough deal for them. And then for him to, like, kind of confirm, like, this isn't a big deal. I mean, I know it wasn't, like, the benign. I know I know
it's not a life or death, but it's a quality of life issue.
Yeah, and I really thought he was going to be a little bit more compassionate, kind of like, that really sucks. Here's your options. Here's the pros and cons. You need to figure out what you want to do and get back to me. Not like, why are you here? Let me know when you decide what you want to do. So that's why I'm really anxious to talk to anybody who's had fibroid issues of any kind. What did you do? What didn't you do? Anything would help. I have spent so many hours. I've been waking up at 4 every morning, and I'm researching the fire to see where it is. I'm researching the fibroids.
Vagina stones?
Yes, my son calls them vagina stones. So I'm a wee bit stressed. And then this amazing wedding is supposed to happen this weekend. And I keep telling her to put a picture of the train in so you can see it, because her train is gorgeous and it won't give away the rest of the dress. I don't know if she's going to do it. It is gorgeous.
It's dang beautiful. I pick up my dress tomorrow. And I got the confirmation today that the flowers are coming. I was really worried because I ordered them from Costco. I think I told you this before, but you got like 2 bridesmaid bouquets, two bridesmaid bouquets, a bridal bouquet, 3 boutonnieres, 3 corsages, and petals. For like $240, I think, with like real flowers in them. Like, it's not just like greenery or something, it's like real flowers. So we'll see how they turn out, but I thought that was a steal because I have a florist who's doing the other wedding, but for this one I just wanted some like kind of cheap flowers. So I thought that was awesome, but I was really worried that because of COVID they just weren't fulfilling orders and not telling people. But we got the email saying that they're shipping, so woohoo. Apparently it's working.
I need to go back because I sent you a picture and I just realized I didn't talk about it at all.
Okay, go ahead.
One of the days, after the fire meeting and all the strike team stuff, we looked out the window and it's a grill. We're having a grill. Everybody at the cabin's having a grill. They put pink bows, pink ribbons on all of the gates. And it took me a long time to figure out what I think is. We tried Googling, like, why are they on here? What's going on, and I think it's based on the number of structures that they can see behind each gate, because some have like 3, 2, we only have 1, and there's only one of us on that side, so that makes sense. So at first we thought it meant we are not going to save you, not savable, because that is a thing, and that's why we were asking you to ask Jacob, like, hey, what do these things mean? But he didn't know either, so I think that's what it means. But anyway, there's a picture. It's a grill. And so I asked another neighbor that had gotten one from a camp down below us. She's like, hey, it's a grill. We got one. I was like, yeah, us too. I said, where do boys come from? And she's like, same place, silly. I was like, oh, the El Dorado fire. Because that's the one that was the gender reveal that went wrong and started the fire, and it was a boy. So the El Dorado fire is the boys, and the Bobcat fire were the girls. So the El Dorado is pretty much under control from what I can tell. Ours, I think, we're like 15% contained and not getting much better. It's so out of control in so many different places. Sorry, dog. Anyway, I'm done with the fire. I'm done. This is the last time I can hear about the fire unless the cabin actually burns down. I know you're sick of hearing about the fire. I'm done. Next week's going to be... I don't know. Next week's going to be amazing because you're going to be on the honeymoon, you're going to be married and happy, and the cabin will be okay. And I'm like, that's about the time when the cabin would have a problem, and then you're not going to be here, so then I'll be sad. And I still have fibroids.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
Anyways.
This is a mess of a video. I'm really sorry, but yeah. This
That's
is
all,
real life.
folks.
It's real life. You get real life.
Yeah.
So yeah, Villa Mirabilia, maybe. Definitely keto. Try to work on the shadowing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
And your tree.
My tree. Always the tree.
Yeah. And you'll record my tree.
Maybe. Yeah, send me the link.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you for watching. Next week, my husband should be here. The husband tag. Not his edited. Slightly edited. We'll see.
You got this. I believe in you. Toodles!
That picture has sparkles. I've never noticed that pig picture has sparkles.